Okay, what's next?
Okay, I think we've actually spoken about this. My number 10 is not having a plan.
Okay.
So I think throughout this whole conversation, we've constantly spoken about not having a plan. And not having a plan doesn't mean, well, it means that just because you think you have a plan doesn't mean that you've got a plan. Yeah.
It's like budgeting.
I was just going to say, it's like budgeting. People say, no, but I budget every month. Oh, really? No, you don't. Budgeting isn't about what's happening this month. It's what happened last month. Go over exactly what happened, where the money went, why it went here, how much I spent, and then look forward, projecting only 20% into next month.
Yeah.
And that's what our system does, our SEP tool. It is actually a brilliant tool. It separates everything, and once you've got your variable costs, your fixed cost accounts open, you can then track everything. And a budget is all about tracking. You need to track your money. So having a plan isn't just saying, I've got a piece of paper, this is what I spend and that's it, or this is what I spend over 2 or 3 months. And no, you've got to have someone, and I feel you need to have someone that's outside helping you look in, because you can be doing something that's not right, but because it's you'll just look over it.
Yeah,
Yes, you'll justify it. And I think I spoke about that last week as well. People justify where their money is going. They spend money on savings, and where the money's not going anywhere. They have people that they're giving money to, family members that haven't paid them back, and all these things. It's your retirement. You've got to realize it's your retirement. It's your investment plan that you are messing around with. So when you have a neutral person or a coach looking at this, he can be the bad person for you. He can be the one that you turn around and say, well, sorry, to whoever that wants to borrow money from you. Well, I can't, because hell, I'm going to get wrapped over the knuckles because my coach is going to see this.
Exactly.
So use them as your scapegoat, and then start building your investment.
Yeah, sorry I'm interrupting there, but that's so true. We don't want to create family issues and offense and whatever. So then we say yes to friends and family who wants to borrow money, instead of where we know we should actually say no. So the beautiful thing about a coach is you can blame the deaf guy. You just go, no, I'm sorry, I would love to help you, but I'm doing this financial coaching, and Warren is going to be very upset with me. He said I am not allowed to lend money to anybody. And suddenly it's not you anymore.
Sure.
It's now Warren, and Warren can be the bad guy.
100.
He doesn't care. He can then go and coach them not to have to lend money from people.
I don't mind going for psychiatric help afterwards.
No issues. So it is so true what you're saying about the plan, is having a proper plan. It's almost all the people that we start working with, and you'll attest to that, is they have a budget, or they think they have a budget, until they do a strategic expense planning, and suddenly they go, wow, I did not know I was doing this or doing that. A budget is not just looking at expenses and writing them down, seeing what debit orders go off your account, and giving yourself X amount for petrol and X amount for spending. That's not how a budget works. No. You need to understand exactly what you're spending before you can change it. That's why I always say budgeting is 80% looking backwards and only 20% looking forwards. People think it's a predictor of the future. It's not.
I think if I have to put it on a whole, the people that have got debt, it's a lot easier asking them to look at fill in that SEP 100%, look at where their money is going, and finding those call it the holes in the bucket. A person that comes out at the end of the month, and he is not all of you guys, most a person that comes out with a positive, they find it much harder to fill in that SEP, because they feel, well, I have a positive at the end of the month. So why do I need to fill in the SEP? Just because you have a 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 50,000 Rand positive doesn't mean that you can't get more. And in this scenario, I'm saying be greedy here. Be greedy on the amount of money that you can put into your future. Try and find every single Rand that you can put in, because that is a Rand that can ultimately become $1 million.
Give every rand a job.
Yeah, so find that extra rand, make it work for you. Let's create that investment for you that can actually build your future.
Yes.
And the more investments you have, well, then you can maybe be a little bit more lax about it because you've created the habit. The SEP tool is there to create the habit.
Yes. Yeah, and it's exactly right what you're saying. The fact that people who are spending less than they're earning, they feel that, but I don't need to go look at my expenses, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I had exactly that thing. When I was young and I earned all of that money at Housewares, I was spending way less than I was earning, but I was spending on the biggest load of shit. If I could go back and take all of the money I was spending on nonsense, because I was a 21-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think what I spent money on, whole lots of shit. Toys and gadgets and everything. If I had a proper system in that 2 to 3 years that I was earning all of that money, when the company closed down and I lost everything, it would have been a blip on the screen, but it was devastating. I couldn't recover for 2 years after that. Where if I had my plan in place and that happened, I would have been, okay, well, this happened. I've got my emergency fund. I've got my reserve account. I can carry myself until I'm back on my feet again.
Yes.
And that's what people don't think. They think that because they have a little bit of extra every month, they're okay. They're spending less than they earn, and that's everything hunky-dory. It's not.
But saying that, and actually thank heavens you didn't have that, because we wouldn't be benefiting from it now. So things happen for a reason.
Exactly.
It might not be clear at that point in time, but from all of us guys that use the coaching and using the tools that you supply us from Retire Rich and Happy, and me being part of it, I'm thankful you went through a major struggle back then.
Well, me too, actually. Looking back at it now, I can see how everything happened to create the person that I am, and why I was put on this journey. And that put me on that journey. If that didn't happen, I would never have had the enthusiasm and the passion I have for it.